Over 300 of these beautiful, sticky, caramel, cinnamon, yummy buns have been ordered. And these are by Jimmy the Baker. And the only reason I'm not necessarily going in and pulling them out with my fingers, although I'm going to try, is that they're nice and hot. Do you see that ooey gooey? Do you see the caramel? Oh my heavens.
Puffy.
Do you see the nuts? Do you see how puffy this is and how perfectly made it is? These are the middle bites. Actually, every bite on a Jimmy the Baker sticky bun is a middle bite. And that's only one of the 2 flavors to choose from. So let me back up. Jimmy the Baker, America's Scratch Baker. We love him here. He brings us all sorts of loaves and sticky buns and cookies, and they're always phenomenal. This particular item, you said, is the best breakfast item, as in the sticky buns, not once, but twice. Our customers, 80,000. You're choosing who voted in the Customer Choice Awards, let me just say. You can get all 12 of them without nuts. You can actually choose all 12 of them with nuts. There actually is a combo, 6 and 6. 6 with nuts, 6 without nuts. This is an expiring price, and it's also a hot pick. So whenever we see hot pick or show only price, go ahead and place your order. This is 5 easy payments of $8.37. All of the items shipped to you for free. The easy pay on this goes away at the end of the day, and the price goes up at the end of the day. There is an auto delivery that is every 60 days. I'm going to see whether or not, I'm hoping this isn't so hot to burn my tongue.
So good.
I'm doing the with the nuts right now. Dig right in. Hi, Jimmy. How are you?
What are you holding, Jimmy?
This is my dough. My beautiful. Oh, I love my dough.
Oh, so do we.
Your beautiful dough. And the sticky buns are literally unrivaled. They're amazing. And I know that maybe you go to that store that might be by the airport, or there might be in the train station or whatever, and the cinnamon kind of calls you. These are nothing like that. These are next level.
You see, because you see this dough, this was made this morning, but I ain't gonna use it until tomorrow, maybe not even till the day after that.
Wow.
Because unlike everybody else, I want this dough to do the slow rise. That's what gives it its tenderness. When you let it ferment, when you let the sugar and the butter and all that stuff do that wonderful romantic dance, that's what you get. That's what you're seeing right there, is that great texture. You can't rush that. If you rush it, you don't get this. You don't get the cake-like texture, and the goo. Oh, it's all about the goo.
The goo. What is the goo?
The goo is so
You'll
good.
You will find that when you age the dough, what I found is that the goo and everything tends to stick together. When you rush it, the goo runs out. You don't have any goo on the inside of the bun. Nothing can kill your day like a bun without goo.
Without goo. I agree.
Ruins your day.
So we're going to give you just a little high level on each one of them. There is the version with nuts that I have in front of me that actually, Jimmy, everybody is jumping on. You're loving these nuts.
Because you get 6 and 6, right?
Yeah, and you can get 6 and 6. That's a combo.
Oh.
But there is 100% nuts. If you want the version that is all 12 of them in the nuts, you can actually choose that. And what is that goo? Is that caramel? Is it cinnamon? What is this? In this beautiful aged dough, what am I looking at?
It's a bunch of different things. You've got brown sugar butter. You've got a touch of molasses and a touch of honey. Yeah. And we cook that up. And just like the old-fashioned way, when you take the goo, the caramel, you put it on the bottom of the pan, then you put the nuts in, and then you put the cinnamon bun on top. That's exactly how we make it in those individual cups.
Yep.
When you bake them in the individual cups, everyone is like the center. You're not going to get the outer edge. You're not going to get a corner piece. Everyone is like the center. So you get the nice soft dough. You get the Jimmy dough, and you get all that caramel good. That is a great shot. I'm very, very proud of my staff.
I mean,
that doesn't happen by accident.
No.
By the way, we don't have like little Jimmys in the kitchen adding more caramel or adding more sauce or anything. Like, this is the way they come to you.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, I will tell you this. Many times I've gone to like diners and restaurants and places like that, and they have sticky buns on the menu, right? And you order them, and I always say to them, like, can you make sure it's hot?
Right.
Can you make sure it's like really, really hot? Because I want to put butter on it and melt it. And it never comes out hot.
They won't do it.
They never come out hot.
No, they're afraid of burning it.
Yeah, these, you put them in your microwave for like a couple of seconds, And they're like they came out of the
delicious.
oven. They're like fresh baked right out of your microwave.
And that too didn't happen by accident. You know what? Because the microwave could really beat up a pastry.
Oh, yeah.
So you're talking 20, 30, maybe even 35 renditions that, you know, sometimes they taste great out of the oven, but the next day they don't taste so great.
Right.
They don't taste great. It has to withstand us baking them, sending them to you, then you taking them out and putting them in your microwave. Also, as soon as you get them, I think you should put them in the freezer.
Yes.
And there's lots of questions I get on how do I thaw them, how do I bake them, and all that stuff. You take them out, let them. It's like any other thing that you microwave. The longer it's out after you freeze it, the more even it's going to heat. It's not to say that you can't go from the freezer to the microwave. You probably want to do that with small bursts and let that caramel melt. But get it to room temperature as soon as you can. It'll last for months in the freezer. They're individually wrapped, so you can get them take them out one at a time, and you can.
Let me share with you and give you a little bit of an update, Jimmy, and thank you for that, for letting us know how best to keep them, because again, in freezer, let them thaw out, then that quick microwave, like that whisper of microwave. Each one of these is 5.63 ounces. Do you know what that is? Way over quarter pound.
Huge.
You know,
Huge.
huge. It's huge. It's completely shareable. And so are you the person who loves the without nuts? Get all 12 of them without nuts. If you're the person, that's our most limited choice, with all 12 without choice, 500 to go around. And how many did you say, Dan? You just said how many? Oh, over 1,600 have been spoken for. So when I say only 500, these aren't going to last. So the without nuts, if you have a nut allergy, if you, like, you know, you're not the nut person, or you want to decorate them and put a little powdered sugar on it, or you want to put a little chocolate drizzle on it, or this is what you're going to have when you've got your friends coming over. The with nuts.
Can I just show over here? Yeah, they're all going to look like this when you get them home.
Yeah.
When you microwave them and you turn them
it
upside
down
like that, that's when you're going to see
Thank
the
you.
nuts, obviously. Just because if you get them home and you're like, I ordered with nuts, they sent me without nuts, it's going to look like this. When you turn it over, that's when you see the nuts.
Then I love that you pointed that out. Thank you. Thank
Because
you.
I was confused.
See, because
I was confused. That's why. And I was
we're
like,
a team, right? How does this work?
What a good host.
So
What a
he is. He's my good hubby host.
Yes.
So here is the with nuts, and in the with nuts, most popular by far. Now only 1,200 remain. So more have been ordered than actually remain, and more have been ordered in the past like 9 minutes. So if you want to, maybe this is your bill to ship to. Do that. This is your bill to ship to, super easy. And then there's the combo, which is the 6 and 6. About 1,100 remain there. Every time we present Jimmy the Baker items, you know, they sell out. Every time. There is an auto delivery on this, which is every 60 days. I want you to know, just in terms of comparison for your head, when you're going, I wonder whether or not that's worth it. This 5.6 ounce beautiful sticky bun is $3.49. When have you gone to that store, you know, the one I'm talking about, or whatever, or any store for that matter, and seen something that was, again, 5.63 ounces over a quarter pound that you didn't spend well over $4, $5, $6, $7 on?
Delivered
to your door for free.
Yeah.
Right.
Delivered.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we call this an expiring price. So this price, we can't hold it. Price goes up at the end of the day, and the easy pay goes away at the end of the day. And Jimmy's just, you know, he does this for us because he loves us.
Not to mention baked by yours truly. We can't
baked by yours truly. We cannot. Can you top line for me each one of these? If someone is just joining us, they've just come in right now when we have our hot pick that we're presenting. There's the with nuts version, and there's without. What makes it?
I will tell you the one without nuts was a request from QVC for people who had nut allergies, so we wanted to, and some people just don't like nuts.
It's just as good, though.
What I do notice, it does bake a little differently. You get a little bit, what we call in the trade, the frying effect, that the caramel on the bottom gives it kind of like a crispy edge.
Yes.
There's no nuts to get in the way
I
on
feel
the
like
bottom.
it's super fluffy on the inside.
Yes.
You get a much different bake. So this is, you know, even though you may like nuts, the caramel bun is pretty good. The one with nuts, I mean, it is
It's
classic.
an amazing bun for a moment. I mean, like, just look at this yumminess and the specialness of the dough. And as
the paper.
Yeah, and that's the paper. And as you said, Alberti, the bite, the chew, it's light and fluffy. Like, if you're like when they say, do you like ice cream or cake? And you're like, cake.
Well, I like both.
I love that you just said both.
It's like asking you to choose a child. Who do you like more, Prince Charming or Coco Chanel?
Exactly. You're like,
I don't
nah,
know.
I like them both. You know what? You're right.
I love them both.
Your answer is my answer, but if you're the cakey person, the without nuts is absolutely cakey you, right? You really get that cake experience. And the with no nuts, Jimmy, is just, again, I mean, this is like a masterpiece.
Yes. And by the way, what did we say? 30 seconds in the microwave. Give it a good 30. Want that caramel. Once we bake them and ship them, the caramel kind of gets cold, room temperature. You want to heat it up. You want to melt the brown sugar. So don't be afraid. 20 or 30 seconds if you want to do it in bursts. But bake them. Don't turn them. Turn them upside down. Put them on the plate. Leave the bottom on.
Right.
Microwave it for 20 to 30 seconds and gently lift up. If it doesn't slide out, help it out with a fork or something like that. If it needs another 5 seconds or so, go ahead and do that. If you happen to have a little vanilla ice cream on top of that caramel and walnut, that might make today's problem seem a little bit smaller.
There is not a gooier thing that we present.
No, there isn't.
There really isn't.
I'm going to ask.
This is like the ooeyest, gooeyest thing that we present.
Totally.
On QVC.
So, and by the way, this is, it's a recipe that was handed to me by my mentor, who probably used this basic recipe for about 50 years. He was an 8th generation baker. Now, I took that recipe and I want to say improved on it. It's hard for me to say that I improved on something my mentor, who really knew what he was doing, but I think how we improved it was the way we handled it. We, by accident, found out that the older the dough got, the more floofy it got, the more nice it got, the more cakey it got. So, as I always say, with us, it's as much process as recipe.
So, Jimmy, walk me through this. I actually say I had this in the microwave, right? Do I cook it upside down like this?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
cook it upside down. And then after my 30 seconds or so,
you lift it up a little bit. Sometimes it sticks a little bit.
Yep.
But if it doesn't, just help it out. And sometimes some of the goo is caught on the bottom or something. Just help it out with a fork. But
and then that's what we're looking at.
And that's what you're looking for. You want that caramel to caramelize, as they say.
Oh.
And it gets even better because it's been in the freezer.
Exactly.
Yes. That freeze thaw does magic to baked goods. I don't know why, but it does. It's really. Baked goods are most baked goods, with the exception of breads, are really, really made for the freezer, in my opinion.
Look at this. Oh, my heavens. And, of course, you can have it a little bit hotter, a little bit cooler, however you'd like it. I always like it a little bit extra hot and then let it cool down and let all that caramelization and the ooey gooey yumminess just drip over the edges, and then nice cold glass of milk, and it's fantastic. Let me give you our final update. Remember, they come individually packaged, so you don't have to worry about that. 3,000 of these have been spoken for. If you want the combo, which is 6 and 6 of each, I have 800 to go around. If you want all 12 of the with nuts, by far the most popular, 600 remain. And then all 12 without nuts, fewer than 300. Remember, 3,000 were just spoken for in this presentation. These are not going to last, especially at this price. When I'm saying, if I were out in a baker's, counter and I said, yeah, that's $3.49, you'd be like, are you kidding me? I'm going to take a bajillion of them and I'm going to run and wait for you to come to your senses and charge me more for each one of these. But right now you haven't. So, Jimmy, thank you so much. 2-time Customer Choice Award winner for Best Breakfast Food. And he's the brand who's an award winner for Best Stock Up and Save. So now's the time. Place your order. Don't wait. Price goes away at the end of the day. Thanks, Jimmy.
All right, we're going to bring you one of your restaurant favorites to your own home. Have you